Yes, yes, guys. Funfair audits. Look at the state of this kitchen. We don't muck about in here. Right, we've got a special one for you tonight. We've got an interview with a showman. He used to have his own Waltzer. It was a ride called Suicide Ride. It was a Maxwell, wasn't it, Jay?
Yep, certainly was.
So yeah, look at them all. They're all on the pot.
So's he as well.
Yeah, so's me as well. So we got Cliff as well with us. So welcome to Funfair Audits. We're in the man kitchen, the man cave. Leaning against the bar with a brummie. Yeah. So good evening, Jay.
Good evening.
So yeah, you were born on the gaff, weren't you?
Yep, I certainly was.
Yeah. So tell us your story then, Jay. So how did everything pan out for you? Now, forgive Jay if he doesn't look at you because he has got problems with his eyesight. So be kind. He's not being funny with you. So yeah, tell us, Jake. Go on then. Let's kick it off. How did you start off on the gaff then, buddy?
I was just born there.
You were born there.
And
You didn't have a choice.
no, I was born into it. I was very fortunate that when I was born, even though times were hard, we still was able to make a living.
Yeah.
And it's how I learnt my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I learnt my numbers by doing the maths, doing the change in the pay box with my mum.
Yeah.
And also we're measuring up with my dad and my granddad. People think when the gaff pulls on, it's just a case of dropping your wheels off and setting your machine up. And it's nothing like that. Everything is measured out precisely.
Yeah.
And if you go onto a ground and you might see the odd, like, say like the front of an extreme, you might see two little, like reverse L's,
Yeah.
one that way and one that way. And all that is just showing where they want the actual ends of the machine to be.
Yeah.
In the middle, at the direct centre point, you'll have your initials.
That's right. Yeah, because I noticed that with Tommy Wilson the other day. I was doing a build-up video, and I had to measure out the ground, and the circles going down, and all the initials went into the circle. Yeah.
So and your initials, that's your centre point.
Yeah.
And a thing that we have between ourselves is a common courtesy. We leave 3 foot either side.
Yeah.
Of each ride.
Right.
And that's got two uses. That's to show the public that should there be, and you hope and pray there isn't, but it has been known, unfortunate accidents or something's caught fire, you can use that as a fire break.
Right.
And it's a common courtesy that we do. We to each other we leave 3 foot either side. So you might book a 50-foot diameter position.
Yeah.
But in effect, what you technically do is you put down a 56-foot because you're allowing that 3 foot either side.
Right. Okay.
So
how long were you on the Waltzers for then, Jay?
I started minding when I was about 10.
Blimey, that's young.
My dad started teaching me how to mind.
Yeah.
And and it'd always be about on the ride or down the bottom of the steps.
Yeah.
And then as I got to about 13, 14, it just let me crack on.
Yeah. How does it work with your education when you're on the fair? Because I should imagine schooling's probably quite difficult.
What it used to be, I don't know if it's the same now, but depending on where you were wintering,
yeah,
you either did what they call 30 and 30,
yeah,
or 60 and 60. So it was 30 days at school,
right,
and that was it. And then you went on to something called the Travellers Education Project.
yeah.
What I used to do, I was a bit of a bugger, because for the first month of the season, month and a half.
Yeah, I can just imagine you being a bit of a bugger.
I wouldn't. I used to just all day, every day, rattle off my work, so that I didn't have nothing to do for the rest of the season.
No.
And that it seemed to work for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the system is now. I mean, it might be that they show people's kids do have to go to school now.
Yeah.
Things have changed, times have changed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, how do you find it these days? I mean, is it? Do you think it's better today than it was in the old days?
To be honest with you, no.
No.
The whole gaff scene, it's completely changed. I mean, I remember you pull on grounds, you build up, you'd be open up. Some grounds you'd be open up midnight, 1 o'clock.
Blimey.
And now the majority are shutting at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and that's because of the way society has gone, health and safety has gone.
Yeah.
And it all adds up. So, I mean, you're always saving for a rainy day, but you'll always get one place and it'll take that rainy day straight away off you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you used to have wristband fairs in your day?
No.
No.
No. It was always cash.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, it was like, I mean, when I first started minding, we were charging 30 pence a ride.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at it now, you want to go on a decent waltz, you're paying maybe 4 or 5 quid.
Yeah, but having said that, you know, a lot of people do moan about the price of the rides, but obviously times have changed. I mean, the price of fuel now is...
it's astronomical.
Oh, it's astronomical,
and,
yeah.
And you've got insurance on top of that.
Insurance, yeah.
And you've got your men to pay.
Yeah,
you know.
Insurance is quite difficult to get now. There's less and less of them doing it.
There are a few. There are a couple of companies that I know. But to get on their books now with anything, it's hard.
It is.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
And if they do, if you're a first timer, they'll charge you an astronomical deposit.
Yeah.
And a lot of showmen are just finding the business so hard now.
Yeah.
They're having to diversify, and
Yeah.
you know, like when the pandemic was on, there was a lot of showmen driving for different supermarkets, B&M and what have you.
Yeah, well, a lot of showmen didn't even get any furlough payments, did they?
Couldn't get nothing.
No.
A lot couldn't get nothing. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he couldn't get absolutely sod all, and he ended up building circus tents.
Really?
Yeah. He built 11 in the pandemic and sold them all.
Crikey.
Yeah. And it was the only way that he could support his
Yeah,
family.
it's the only way you can do it, yeah.
And he tried for bounce back loans, everything. He couldn't get nothing.
Yeah, well, we were talking to somebody the other day who was, he was building pay boxes, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was that? Joseph Marin, wasn't it?
Yeah, Joseph, yeah.
Yeah, Joseph Marin, yeah. He owns a funhouse, Pirate Adventure. He built that himself. That's been around now for 10 years, but that was all his own work. But he also builds catering units as well. So you've got to diversify. You know, you can't just sit on your laurels and think, okay, you know, I've got a funhouse, I'm going to make money that way. There's a bit more to it, isn't there, Joe?
Yeah, a lot more to it, because you know, you're not just running the attraction. You've got your maintenance of your generator, your lorry.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, your insurance, your staff, and you don't do it for the money, because at the end of the day, once you've paid everything out, you don't make a lot.
No.
A lot of people think you do, but no, you don't.
No.
It's only because you've diversified into other things that you're able to make a bit of a reasonable living out of it for yourself.
Yeah, I think you've got to. I mean, I've been... we were down in Worcester the other day. Charlton Such. That was a wristband fair. And it was so quiet. Well, the problem with that Charlton had was... he's got stores where it's like hook your missus and knock the tins off the shelf, but these are chargeable things that aren't included in the wristbands. And when the fair's quiet, you've got no bloody chance So you have got to diversify and try and find something else that you can do, because you're not going to make a living just by hook a bag, are you?
No, it's not going to happen. You've got to have. I mean, a lot of showmen do painting. They'll do, like I said, they'll build catering units, juveniles, fun houses, whatever they can turn your hand to.
Yeah.
To make a few quid, to make things better for yourself and your family.
Yeah,
And not just that, your men as well, because you've got to look after your men.
you have.
Because it's your men that's your bread and butter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or your women as well, because there are some gaff lasses.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So-
I've met a few good gaff lasses, yeah.
You know, and if you get good ones, you make sure they're all right.
Yeah,
But like society, there's good and bad in every society.
yeah,
It's just the way it is.
yeah, yeah. So, Jay, you actually managed to go on a couple of rides down in Worcester. You hadn't been on one for a couple of years, had you?
No, I haven't. No.
And Tom Wilson's funfair, fair play to him, because as you know, as you can see, Jay is visually impaired. Now, when you get a good showman like Tom Wilson, they'll make damn sure that if you've got a disability, they look after you, and they were brilliant, weren't they, Jay?
Oh, absolutely spot on.
Absolutely spot on.
Couldn't fault Tom and family at all.
No, they really were good to you, and I've got to give them a really big thanks for that as well. You know, they're friends of mine. They didn't have to, but they did. They looked after Jason brilliantly. Right, okay. Moving on from your funfair days then, Jay, you also worked for a circus, didn't you? Peter Jolly.
Yeah, I went and helped him out for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did that go then, Jay? What were you actually doing on the circus?
I was helping him build the tent up, advance billing, doing security, walking around when the show was on, helping with the animals.
Yeah.
A bit of everything. They're good people. They are really good people.
Yeah, I spoke to Peter Jolly, and he was the same bloke. There was him and his lad. I think his lad's called Peter as well, isn't he?
Yeah, we always used to call him PJ.
Yeah, yeah, they were a really nice family, and they did treat their animals like their own pets. You know, they're not just caged animals. I mean, people will do slag circuses off, especially if they've got animals. It's like, oh no, you can't do that. But from the evidence that I saw, they treated their animals brilliantly.
Oh yeah, the top range with their animals. They do look after them.
Oh yeah.
I've seen Peter stood in that stable tent on a night, making sure that they're all warm enough and etc. And he's even moved stuff over.
Yeah.
So that put hay round certain places so that they are proper warm, that the wind can't get into them.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the vlog up on the channel. I mean, we're not talking about what they do on the continent. I mean, it was like chickens and geese and maybe a couple of cats. I mean, they're just really, it's more like a little kid's zoo. You know, they're not animals that you get in most of your funfair on the continent in America, like your lions and your tigers and stuff like that. It was more like just a little family affair. And some of the wagons, wow, I mean, they were really old. Really enjoyed that fair, didn't we, Joe? That was a complete surprise.
Yeah, and it was just as look at it as we was going past, we saw it. And well, on the way back, then we'll pop in.
Yeah, we were just popping. Yeah, we popped down to do Henry dances at Starport. Excuse me, folks, while I burp. But what you expect when you've been on the cider? The Brummer's got the gin. And there's coffee. You finished that gin yet then, Brum?
Yeah.
Well, you better pour another one then, hadn't you?
Nearly.
Here, I'll get you a can of... what's this crap? Yeah, what's this crap? Fever Tree Mediterranean...
Tonic.
Yeah, tonic water.
Yeah.
Bloody £5 for a box for a box of water. Come on.
But, yeah, I mean, even when you go on the grounds, even the catering units, they're all marked out.
Yes, they are. And I
Everything is-
watched one of these catering units. Now, you'd think it would just be a case of pulling it on with the car and dumping it, but there's a bit more to it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's all got to be level.
That's right.
So some showmen they'll drop the legs off, they'll drop the legs down, take the wheels off, and then lower it right down to the floor, but it's on wooden blocks.
Yeah, it is.
And it has to be level because you've got cooking oil in there, etc. When you're cooking your chips and whatever. And the last thing you want is a unit that's not level, because if the fat splashes up, it can catch fire.
Exactly. Yeah, I was really surprised. I was doing a build-up recently, and I was watching this chap building the food stall up, and I thought, well, all he's going to do is just plonk it down and drive his car off, and that was it. But no, there was a hell of a lot more to it. It was quite surprising how long it actually took to get everything right.
Yeah, it's got to be spot on with it. The same with your rides. If your ride isn't level, it's not going to run properly and it will cause an accident. It has to be level.
Yeah.
Checks are done every single day, and I know some show people, they'll do them 2 times a day, sometimes 3 if it's in a really bad rough area,
Yeah.
just to make sure that nobody's been under pissing about.
Yeah, I did a build-up recently, and it was Joseph Danter, and it was quite a good close-up. I mean, there was spirit levels on everything, You're checking every single corner of it with the spirit levels, making sure everything was okay. I said, well, why are you doing that? I said, all it is just the floor, but no, there's a lot more to it than that.
So
Do you think with the ride going around itself on the centre spindle, it'd just be, it'd do its own thing? But no, you've got to get it all spirit levelled.
oh yeah, it's all got to be done properly.
Yeah,
And depending where you are in the country, a lot of your local councils, before you can even open, they'll have one of their own independent assessors come down and have a look.
yeah,
Some are quite happy if you've just got your first one for the season.
yeah,
Some are quite happy, there's like, yeah, that's alright. You'll get the odd one that might want to just come and have a little look for themselves. And then once they've got used to it, if you've been going to a place for a few years and they know that you're pretty much on the ball with stuff, they tend to leave you be.
yeah.
But,
Sorry, folks, I just spilled my cider all down me. Bear with me a minute, folks. I just got cider all down me. Dirty drinker. It'll be all right on the night.
but I've had to give the game up because
Yeah,
my eyes are too bad now. My back's buggered. I've had 2 discs explode.
yeah,
So it's not worth it, and I don't want to be in a position where I've tightened or done something and something happens and the blame's put on me. No, because you've got to know when to walk away.
yeah. Do you want to elaborate on how you lost your sight, Jay?
Yeah, it was strobes and laser lights off my Waltzer. Before
Yeah.
all the regulations came in on brightness and how long you could use them, etc.
Yeah,
It was just like a free for all.
yeah,
With them, you run them as long as you wanted.
yeah,
But when you sat in the pay box in the middle, and you're getting the direct glare of them, it does do damage, and nobody knew at the time.
no,
But now people do, and that's why they're always set to the slightly to the side.
yeah,
They're not set as dead centre anymore like they used to be.
no. So you had the problems with the strobes and stuff. What are your opinions on this new LED lighting? Because to me, these lights are even brighter.
If I'm honest with you, I can't. I think, don't get me wrong, I think from a showman's point of view, I think they're brilliant, they make the ride stand out. But if you have an eye problem, they can really give you a bad headache.
Yeah,
And again, it's a showman's personal preference what they do with their machines.
yeah,
They do look tasteful, they do look good, but maybe they need to be dimmed down a little bit. I don't know.
yeah. It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah, because you've got to think what's aesthetically pleasing for the public, and at the same time, is that going to pull the punters into you? And you know, we used to say, oh, the more glim, the better, and I don't know. It's a really hard one. It's a personal preference. On
Yeah,
that one.
yeah. I mean, we see a lot. We see a lot of twisters now that are really decked out in LEDs and stuff. Where's the Brummy going? She's off for a slash. Blimey, you can't trust these women. You just can't rely on them to be here, can you? You know, off they go. So where's Cliff?
He's down here.
Where's
beside
Cliff?
me here.
Cliff. Hey, we got the guy. You know, I never knew that guide dogs were. I mean, this is a full class German Shepherd. Now, in my ignorance, I always thought they were the Golden Labradors. So, what's the story there, Jay?
What it is, originally when guide dogs started 95 years ago,
Yeah.
they were originally done for forces, ex-forces that had
Right.
lost the sight in war, and they always bred German Shepherds. It was a German lady that started the charity.
Yeah.
And then they went on to labs and retrievers. Now, again, this comes down to society and the way youngsters are, and the fact that parents don't have any control over them. A lot of people got wise to the fact, oh, a Labrador or a Golden Retriever won't do out to you. So visually impaired people were being beaten up, they were being robbed. Sometimes
Blimey.
at knife point, someone's dog actually got stolen once.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, I'm not. And somebody had the brainwave a few years ago start bringing German Shepherds back, because they're an absolutely fantastic guide dog. They can be stubborn, but if
Yeah.
if you go for that owner of that dog's going to rip you from limb to limb.
I must admit, I've loved the company of having Cliff down here for a few days. He slept with me last night. He was down on the floor. I was keeping on the sofa. He never moved a muscle.
And I just looked up at me and went, "Fuck you, mucker."
Yeah. What you got that fag, Jay? I hope you ain't got nothing sinister in there.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Good.
I'm a good boy.
So yeah, I'd like to, give a great thank you to Jason for joining us on the vlog tonight. And I hope you've had a good insight onto the life of the showman. How did you get on with your food, Jay? I mean, were you given food off the gaff, or were you expected to cook, or what?
Well, my family cooked for me, didn't they? But I will give, for anyone that's a young un that's wanting to join up on the gaff, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Make sure you can cook, keep yourself clean, and always make sure that you've got warm clothing and footwear.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't, you're riding for a disaster. Because it ain't no fun when you're cold and hungry.
No. And the showmen are crying out at the moment for staff, aren't they?
Yeah. Because nobody wants to work.
No, not these days. Ever since we've had the pandemic,
Yeah.
no one's really interested in it. They don't want to do it. But
or if they do, you turn your back and they've robbed your pay box and they're fucked off. So.
oh, God's sake, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've met a lot of showmen, and I've made really good friends with them. But no, don't cross them. If you want to join, think hard about it. If you're serious about it and you're willing to do the work.
It could be a very good reward.
It can be a very it can be a very good reward in life, and showmen and gaff lads always look out for each other.
Oh yeah, you've got your backup if you need it.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that coin, if they know you've caused that trouble,
Yeah.
you deal with it on your own.
Yeah.
But if they know that you haven't,
Yeah.
and that you've just been doing what you've been asked to do, they'll back you 100%.
Yeah.
But the minute you do something that goes against the grain,
Yeah.
then you either man up, take the shit that's coming, or you do a fucking scarper. I would recommend you man up and take the shit that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause you do a scarper, you're never going to work again. Or if you are, people are going to be watching you.
Yeah. 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 Well said. Well said. Right. Okay. That was something a bit different for the channel. We're going back into the cider now. So thank you ever so much for joining us. I hope you found this interesting. It's certainly something different. No, I'm not drinking coffee. That's my ashtray. It's got water in it.
He's not told you all we've got a lock in tonight.
No, we got a lock in tonight. Okay, yeah. Okay, the Brummy's cleared off. I don't know where Cliff is. Cliff's so Cliff. Goodbye from Cliff. Goodbye from the. Oh, here she comes. Goodbye from the Brummy.
Star of the show.
You get star of the show. You cleared off. So good.
Clear for me.
Yeah. Goodbye from the Brummy. Mrs. Funfair Audits and Jason from up the Yorkshire way. Yeah, suicide. What happened to that ride, Jay?
It got sold.
It got sold.
Yeah, when I lost my sight, and I literally lost my sight 3 months after losing my dad,
Yeah.
I sold it.
Okay. Well, God bless your dad anyway, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
I had to make the right decision with that one.
yeah, yeah. So no, big respects to Jay. You know, he's had his problems. You know, so yeah, God bless him. He's brought a lot of fun to people during the time on his grounds. So let's have a thumbs up for him. And yeah, Funfair Audits signing out. We're loving ya. Are we loving ya?
We're loving it.
We're loving ya. Cheers, folks. Ta-da.